women with their limited liability company and care businesses. Leave the charity sector alone. It's bringing us bad name. And it really breaks my heart because just because of this toxic drama. You know, some of the genuine people, they don't like the drama. Just last week, someone called me from an unknown number to say that they are suicidal. I don't know who that is, but if you are watching this video, I beg you in the name of God, please don't do it, because I couldn't call the person back. And the person claimed that someone from this our group, that the person is in this our group, took money from them with the promises to help them in the UK, but failed to support them once they arrived. This is now being investigated, because I don't really believe in taking one-sided stories at face value. So if you are the person that called me, we need to speak to you. Call me back with a number we can reach you on, or text me, or text the suicide helpline, which I told you to do. You know, I was also triggered by IJ's comment around what did she even say? ICA being an insurance policy or something like that, and people flaunting luxury cars during ICA meeting. And it brings home what I'm trying to say. This is becoming a real problem. People are now stealing just to keep up appearances. And some men are paying over £1,000 a month on car loans instead of using the money to support their children's quality education against their wives' wishes, just to show off. And it's causing serious tension and dysfunction in many homes, and yet we don't want to speak up about it. This reminds me so much of our leadership in Nigeria. You know, what we see these days, where people who flaunt questionable wealth are celebrated and are now our leaders, you know, even elevated to community. Just be wise. We are wiser now and more spiritually aware. So we don't want to repeat the mistake that affected our parents' generation. Please, let's come together. When people are held accountable, they often retaliate by attacking others' character. I expect it. I know they will attack me. But you must take accountability. You must take accountability. Most of those trying to tarnish my image today are people I helped in the past. Some even borrowed money from me during the oil industry downturn to keep up with their big mortgages and private school fees. Today, some of them are still owing me, because tell them to pay me back, because I'll start calling people out. Honestly, I'll start doing. Next time you hear anybody speaking badly about me, please ask them, what did he do to you? Did you ask her out and she turned you down, or are you owing her? Because pay her money. No, now. Because ejim chukwa you know. Please, let us live in peace. That's what was spoken today in church, that we should love one another as Christ loved us. And loving one another means laying your life for them. And I remain committed to building something meaningful with integrity for all of us and for our children. Just remember that. Have a good Sunday. Around and that we supposedly fought at the women's meeting. So let me clarify that first. That is completely untrue. So what actually happened was that someone tried to disrupt the voting process, and I stood up to the person the same way I stood up to the previous executive, because I want the group to be bigger than one person. I clearly saw when she was told not to allow the voting to go on. So I had to put a stop to that. Yeah. She wasn't happy about it, but I won't dwell on that, because we're good now. You know, it's all in the past. So normally I'd ignore this kind of drama, because, you know, life is too busy. You guys know that I'm alone here and my husband is in Nigeria, and I have far too many pressing things on my plate. In fact, I need help. But silence hasn't served us well in the community, you know. And I believe it's time to speak up with clarity, you know, and clarify things. Makanti bosina abarozo welemba odechi. Please tell your husband to translate that one for you, because English is not my mother's tongue, you know. You know, if you've read my story, and I'm happy to share it, you know, the link on the group, you know how my African church community helped me heal when I moved to the UK 15 years ago and I struggle with loneliness, and depression. I believe in the power of community because I've lived it, right? But I've also witnessed how our communities, especially our Aberdeen community, have been destroyed by imported patterns from Nigeria, of unaccountability and the worship of wealth. And that's a story for another day, really. But it kind of gives context to why I care so deeply about our Igbo community and how it's being shaped, really, So if you see me raising my voice or pushing for accountability, please don't see it as an attack on anyone, please. I'm not against anyone. God knows this, And I'm fighting for all of us and for our children and for a legacy that is bigger than one person, than all of us, Because I've watched sometimes painfully, really, in our community as people with questionable values rise to positions of influence. And I've also supported that, but I see them misuse the power, many of us are working day and night just to stay afloat, pay our bills, while others who may have more time and less responsibility, with time work, shape the narratives and harm people rather than heal. And it's painful to be attacked by the same people who once praised me for helping ensure a smooth leadership transition when I stood up against the former executive. But the truth is, I didn't really do it for them. I didn't do it for anyone. People will resist accountability, and I know that. Yet, it's the only way that we can grow and protect our collective integrity. Because of what is going on in Aberdeen is the Igbo community is broken. And I've taken time to listen to both sides of the current charity registration argument. I must tell you that I acknowledge that both camps raise valid concerns. So, one group fears that some individuals are using charity registration for personal gain. Example, collecting money from vulnerable individuals to bring them to the UK under questionable terms, or putting family members on inflated salaries, or allegedly misusing funds to build houses back home or buy houses here. I don't know. So it's not my problem. That one is Oscar's problem to investigate. And these are serious concerns and they must be investigated and not ignored. And that was the essence of my letter to Oscar, my MP. The other group believes the resistance to charity registration stems from personal grievances, especially frustration towards the president of the ICA not being easily manipulated. And that is unacceptable. I must condemn that in the strongest possible terms. Let me put this out here first, because if you support injustice today, it will come back to you. And I'm using my message to shed light on the bigger picture and not to take sides. I'm not taking sides at all. Let me put it out here as well. Charity is good for the community, but only one is when we get it right, with the right intention and right purposes. When it becomes a cover for personal gain or ego-driven agenda, it loses its meaning and damages the trust of the people. Honestly. And this is why I oppose the proposed registered name, because we have all seen how it is easy for anyone to, register charity. So individuals with questionable motives can just wake up and register charity in our name, So my fear is that if we are not vigilant and accept this name, if we accept this name now, another opposition group will emerge tomorrow and, come up with another name like Igbo Creativity Association and go and register a charity and be using our pictures to raise funds, honestly. And that was exactly why I wrote my MP and Oscar to intervene in this matter. So it is not to report anybody. As the Umuadas that we are, and Ndi Nwunye of Igbo community in Aberdeen. Let us encourage our brothers and husbands to put ego aside and come together to build a strong, united community. Bikono, one that other communities will look up to and emulate, like they've been emulating. They started their own. Our own has been running since, and we want to kill it. They want to help us kill it. Let's stand together, reclaim our identity, and ensure that we have one united Igbo community in Aberdeen. ICA, give us our name back. Trust me, it's no longer going to be business as usual for all these charities springing up and bringing us bad name. I will be calling them out if funds raised in the name of the community are not used for their intended purpose. No more using the community funds to pay people to attend charity events or buy votes or even build houses back home. It must stop. Or here self, buy houses, go and work and use the money to buy your own house. We must demand full transparency and accountability, and I will see to that. You know, they should go and be doing that thing with their limited liability company and care businesses. Leave the charity sector alone. It's bringing us bad name. And it really breaks my heart because just because of this toxic drama. You know, some of the genuine people, they don't like the drama. Just last week, someone called me from an unknown number to say that they are suicidal. I don't know who that is, but if you are watching this video, I beg you in the name of God, please don't do it, because I couldn't call the person back.